Guys, we are going to do the emotional state strategy of I talk versus you talk. So, this is something that I think is pretty important in classrooms and at our homes because a lot of us, again, heard a lot of I talk when we were children. I talk is adult focused and it translates to you talk. You talk is child focus and it translates in the brain to I talk. So I talk from an adult starts with I and it goes on. This is where we have to understand that a lot of the things we do as adults, without even realizing it, are triggering children into the emotional brain based on coercion or manipulation. Here's an example. I talk. I like the way you're sitting in your chair. Okay. That translates in you like me when I sit in my chair. Why this is an issue is that I like the way you're sitting in your chair is that your fondness for the child is conditional based on their behavior. And you like me when I sit in the chair, that's actually coercion. So the only way I can get positive attention from you is if I do what you want. Well, this used to work. It used to work quite a bit. Used to work a lot. But now what we're finding is that we don't have as many children who are what we call pleasers in the classroom. So you may say, I like the way you're drawing that picture, or I like the work you're doing, and the child may tear up the work. So this is where we're having some children who are not responding to this type of positive interaction. Let's look at this another way. When we say that you talk becomes I talk, if you hear the words you are lazy, you are rude, you're a bully, you're a bad, in your brain you have a CD-ROM, and we call it your personal CD playlist. So if I hear you are lazy, it's going to record on my playlist I am lazy. And if I hear it enough, I may hear it as a child, and as 40, 50-year-old person, I still think in my mind, yeah, no, I'm kind of lazy. You are rude. I am rude. You are a bully. I am a bully. You are bad. I am bad. Now, some people will say, Joy, I don't say you're bad. I said you're being bad. Well, in all fairness, you're playing semantics. If I'm being bad, it may not mean that I'm a bad person, but let's be honest, you're talking to a child, and they're not going to tease that out in the moment. You're being bad. Oh, wait a minute. She thinks I'm a good person. I'm just acting bad, which is so out of my character. Let me find a way to make it better. That requires a higher thought process, and I'll be honest with you, in the heat of moments, some adults can't even do that. Now, I do hear a lot of adults say, I didn't say you were bad. I said you were acting bad. I didn't say you were. I understand. I get it. But you have to understand that the children are hearing this in the moment. Okay? Now, let's keep going. One of the things we can look to do is to build an internal language which starts with you. So we can use this neuroscience to almost start to help kids rewire to have more of a positive self-talk. Wouldn't that be nice? To have a positive self-talk as an adult, but to have that positive self-talk is going to lead to a positive internal language. And here's how important this is. The brain is so focused on negative bias. In other words, the negative. For every one negative comment we hear, we have to hear 5 positives to counteract the negative impact. What does that look like? You are smart. I am smart. You are helpful. I am helpful. You are a good friend. I am a good friend. You are kind. I am kind. Suddenly a child who has had a life or most experiences of negative, you're being mean, stop, you're being rude, you're being ugly, can now start to find some positives if he happens to do something kind for a friend. Think about it. as adults, we usually don't highlight the kindness. We don't highlight the helpfulness. This is a way we can start to rewrite negative image on the brain. And you may ask me, Joy, why do I have to rewrite the negative image? So glad you did that. In the South, we have a phrase: if you give a dog a name, eventually he'll come to it. If you tell me I'm a bully long enough, eventually I'm going to be it. I'm going to live it every day because that's who I am. That's my identity. And all you have to do is reinforce it, because that's my neural pathways are established to know that's just who I am. I'm rude. I'm blunt. You hear adults say it all the time, right? That's just who I am. I'm just blunt. That's just who I am. That's just it. I bet if we sat down and looked at what kind of negative language you heard as a child, how did that influence the characteristics you have that you identify with today that may be detrimental or may even hold you back? You may not have any. I'm not in that boat. I hope this was helpful.